I always try to figure out how you say thank you to the people on whose shoulders we stand. Because the hopes and generations, or the hopes and dreams of every generation is built on the toils and struggles of those who came before us. And the lives that most of us have thought of as fulfilling, the lives that most of us want to lead or have led, is pretty much due to the work of our parents and their parents before them. Now, those of you who know me from New York, did I say that right? New York. I know I'm in Washington, but I said New York, right? They know every speech I ever gave to our retirees when I was the president of my beloved Local 2, the UFT, the American Federation of Teachers. I hear them clapping. I used to also say, after I talked about them, that this is our sacred trust. And we, those of us who are still in active employment, we must never forget that sacred trust. Now, because I'm not UFT president anymore, they wanted to make sure our UFT colleagues that I always remembered them every single place I went, so they gave me a picture of all of them that are here today. Thank you very much. As you see, I am carrying it everywhere I go. So that is our trust. You built this country, you built our unions, you built the security and the safety net and the fairness net that has made America great, and now, because of the last recession and the effects of it, we have a country that's very different than I'm sure even you imagined it would be a year or two or three ago. And it's not simply because of who was elected in the last, I know I have a speech, but I'm not using it, sorry. It's not simply because of who was elected in Congress in 2010. It's deeper than that. That is what I want to talk about, and my challenge to you and your challenge to us. Because for the first time in my recollection, I talked to people a lot about this. The notion of America and the American dream is what's at stake. What binds America together, whether you're Warren Buffett or those of us who have spent our lives building a labor movement that can create equal economic opportunity for those who want to work hard, and a labor movement who attempts to create educational opportunity for our next generation. What binds all of us together was this sense that America is about, if you work hard and play by the rules, you and your family will do better than the last generation. It's what binds us. You know from which I speak how many conversations at dinner tables, dining room tables, if one still actually has a dining room, looking at each other or your kids and wondering when they're going to move back to the house that you thought you had rid them of. Thinking about how we help, as I do all the time, make sure my father lives in the style in which he wanted me to be accustomed to, and making sure that if he needs it, without him ever asking, my sister and I pay some bills for him. We're in a situation for the first time in my recollection, whether we talk about it in soaring rhetoric or in those day-to-day issues, where America believes and American people believe that our best days are behind us, not in front of us. And that, my friends, is what has created this fertile ground for scapegoating and demagoguery. And that's what has created this ground that, whereas the labor movement now gets pinged, now gets criticized for doing what it's supposed to do, which is, in a capitalist democracy, be the checks and balances to make sure those who work hard and play by the rules have the economic dignity and respect to which they are entitled. This is our challenge. How we turn this country around to focus again on hope and not fear. How we turn this country around to start believing again that we can lift everyone up, which is what the labor movement was about, not just for our members, but for every American. That's what Social Security is. That's what Medicare is. That's what Medicaid is. That's our job. That's our challenge.